Joining me now, Republican Congressman Pat Fallon of Texas. Congressman, we appreciate your time this morning. I know there are a lot of questions many of us won't have answers to for a while, but what more are you hearing about possible causes for this outage and some of the ripple effects we're seeing nationwide?
Well, Marnie, we want to obviously get to the bottom of it. It's too early to tell. What we want to check into first and foremost and rule out any kind of cyber attack, because that is, of course, critical infrastructure for our country, and we need to do a better job of it across the board anyway from what we saw over the last few years. So we want to rule that out first, and then if it was a software glitch, we need far more firewalls and really need to ensure that we have fail-safe systems so this can never happen again.
The White House says they don't believe anything nefarious. Are you confident that this was not a cyber attack, anything that would be troubling, terrorist possibly?
No, I'm not confident of that yet. I'm not saying that's what it is either, but we need to know, we need to look into it and ensure we do our due diligence to find out what the cause was.
Congressman, I don't think many of us knew anything about NOTAM before this morning, this system that pilots rely on. We're learning a lot more about it now. I think the most troubling thing, and I talked to Peter Greenberg, a travel expert, moments ago, 2 decades, 20 years is how outdated this system is. One, how concerning is that for you and your colleagues in Congress to address it? And my bigger question is, what other systems are this outdated that need to be fixed?
Well, really, when we talk about our infrastructure, a lot of the time we're going to be talking about of course, our bridges, and roads and ports. But we, in the 21st century, we really have to talk about software and computers. And you're right. I mean, we have 21,000 departures in the United States on a daily basis, and we need to ensure it's just an integral part of our economy and our way of life, and really our national security. So we want to make sure that those are updated constantly and make sure that they have the proper funding to do so.
Congressional involvement in getting to the bottom of this is inevitable. What is your message to your constituents, to the American public, about air travel and its safety right now?
No, I do think it is safe. And this, one of the benefits, quite frankly, Marty, of divided government is we're going to hold the folks in power to account. And that's just fine, whether it's the Republicans in charge or the Democrats in charge. And the House Republicans will ensure we're not going to gloss this over, because I think there are, of course, political considerations for 2024 that could be potentially involved, particularly if it were a cyber attack or complete ineptitude on the part of the folks at the Department of Transportation. So we're going to look into it. We're going to find out what the glitch was. We're going to tell the American people what the glitch was and what we're going to do to fix it.
Well, it's been a disruptive morning and a busy one at that for Congress, and a busy start to this session. I want to talk to you about this article of impeachment that you filed on Monday against Secretary Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security. You say that he is not maintaining operational control. Do you believe he broke the law, and do you have any evidence?
Yes, there were 3 articles in the impeachment. And listen, I take this very seriously. I don't want to ever have to file articles of impeachment. But this was inevitable, and this is why. 1, Alejandro Mayorkas willfully lied to Congress. 2, he misled the American people. And 3, we have lost operational control on the southern border. Let's take the first one first. He lied to Congress. He said that the border was secure and that it was secure. And excuse me, sorry. He said the border was secure. And then he got caught on a hot mic about a few days later saying that the border was chaos and it was unsustainable. He perjured himself in front of Congress. And that is in and of itself impeachable. We've lost operational control, and he misled the American people. You remember the quote-unquote whipgate, where Haitian migrants were allegedly whipped by Border Patrol agents? That never happened. Emails have come to light that showed that that wasn't true, and that he knew it wasn't true, and he still went with that woke and false narrative to the American people. And finally, operational control. We never had, Marty, a month where we had over 200,000 illegal border crossers in our history. We've had 9 months in a row, not to mention that the drug cartels have been emboldened. They're making wild profits, and 107,000 Americans died of opioid overdoses in 2021. And that's asymmetrical warfare being waged by the Chinese Communist government. Most of that fentanyl, 80,000 deaths attributed to fentanyl, was manufactured in China and then ferried through Mexico.
Congressman, I think we all share the opinion that something needs to happen at the border so we don't see the amount of crossings that are taking place. Do you worry this will make matters worse? Is this a political stunt, given the fact Democrats control Senate? It's not likely to go anywhere.
No, that's a fair question. And no, it's not, because what we need to do is to inform the American people of the truth of what's going on in the southern border. And if you're not doing your job and you lie to Congress and you commit impeachable offenses, you must be held to account. What the Senate does, of course, it's not likely that he's going to be convicted. But if we do impeach him in the House, that's never happened. Well, that's happened once before in our history in 1876, the Secretary of War, but he'd already resigned, and then he was impeached but not convicted.
Finally,
And
Congressman,
so
you don't have a co-sponsor on this yet, and you need GOP leadership to push it through. Do you think you'll get it?
Yes, yesterday we just released the articles, and we had over a dozen folks sign on as co-sponsors. And I think that I would expect that to increase to maybe 50 or even 100 members of Congress.
All right, we'll be watching this in addition to the investigations into what is happening with the FAA. Republican Congressman from Texas, Pat Fallon, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.